Good morning, and welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Rotimi Itaya, and I'm excited to be here with you today. This is another week, and we have a big time plan for you this week to have a great time together. Good morning, please. If you're there and you can hear me, let me know. Let me see. Tell us something. Say something. Tell us good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. And as you say hello, do also let us know your location. Tell us where you're streaming from. Tell us your location. I'm streaming from Port Harcourt, Nigeria, to West Africa, to Africa, and to the entire world. And we are going to be having conversations around and within about the world of education. And trust me, you're not gonna be left out. Today, we'll be speaking on something fantastic, something interesting, and something I know you would not like to miss. On the show, we look at news, we look at several conversations and several happenings in the world of education. So it's not going to be different. And we are always joined by our analysts, our experts who share their views and their expertise just so that we can have a better perspective, a robust perspective about the conversations of the day. And I'm sure that today is not going to be an exception. You're going to love our conversation today. You're going to love why we learn together. You're going to experience how we share together. And as you talk to us, as you share your comments and questions, we will ultimately go together. And I'm so eager and itchy to share with you what we have in store with you and for you. And if you're just joining us, this is the Good Morning Education Show. I already have one of our analysts revving to go. She's behind the scene. And of course, by the time you meet her, you understand the energy, the electrifying energy behind her. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Good Morning Education Show today, Monday, 25th of January, 2021, as it were. No other person than the founder or co-founder of Niger Kids, an exciting individual, a bright entrepreneur, a wonderful consultant, an experienced management consultant, and then the list continues. And of course, she's one who smiles and says hello in the unique way. The only one who has the background in today's session. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Titi.
Good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Good Morning
Morning.
Education Show. I'm happy to be here this morning with my smile and sunny personality. Good morning. It was a restful weekend, so we are charged and ready for a new week.
All right. I think we could just head over to the news today. We could just talk about the news for today. So many people are talking about so many things out there. I'm sure you've heard what's happening in, in the space of the last 1 week, right? Let's just talk about the Unilag news. Unilag is in the news. Unilag sets for non-physical post-UME test a date. They collapsed their 2020-2021 session with 2021 and 2020 session.
Well,
What's your take on
honestly, I have to commend them because really that's the way to go. The non-physical post-UME test, I think the only reason why universities will go this way, which should be the option based on all that's happening, is because we already have the infrastructure. So Unilag has done it, in terms of online. They have, computer-based testing and all that. So it's easy for them to transition. I wouldn't advise, how exams, jam, and all that can be very rowdy. So I think I want to commend them, and say kudos to them for deciding that let's just quickly, transform and transition the post UTME test. So that's very commendable. So well done. And then in terms of collapsing 2021 and 21-22, I think that's honestly a wise move. I remember the year that I was meant to go into university. They ended up doing exactly the same thing. They had to collapse the year because there had been strike on and off, one thing and the other, and there was already time for the new next academic year. So they just did a slight 1 month delay, got those ones to start earlier, and then those ones that have been waiting due to the strike, then just, and we just moved on. So I think it might just be the way to go for a number of universities. They should consider it, collapse it, and then move on. So I would say kudos to Unilag for doing that. I think other schools, other universities seriously need to see their investment in technology and see how they too can, learn from this. Taking the post-jam test, and then if they need to collapse the exam, because we are already in January, we're already in January, so you might just have to make a decision. But in the end, all decisions are made based on what you currently have on ground, what you see, so you can make a very informed decision.
Okay. While you were speaking, KK walked into the building. KK, good morning. KK, are you there?
Morning, yes, I'm here. Good morning. Hi, Titi. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Rotimi. Good morning,
Good morning.
everyone.
Good morning.
Hi.
Okay, I remember. I keep remembering that your pre-birthday, that video that you posted online. I'm
Okay.
trying to look for it. I remember. Okay, so we're talking about the news, and the next on the news is AAUA. That's Adekunle Ajasin University postpones exams over student debt.
I mean,
That was quite
reading
sad.
reading the story was very tragic. So a truck rammed into a driver lost control of a truck and rammed into one of the school buildings, I think, by the gate, and in the process killed a number of people. It would be somehow for you to just go straight and continue exams as planned without showing a bit of compassion and feelings for what happened on your school premise. So I think it was a good move on them, on their part, to postpone the exams, to be able to give room for investigating, reaching out to the parents of and loved ones of all the affected people. And let's not just be business as usual. We need to ensure that when we do things, we remember that we're dealing with human beings, and we have to be compassionate. We have to show kindness. We have to show empathy. How would you have felt if the same thing happened to you? What if it was a friend, was a sister, a colleague? Would it be easy for them just to go straight to the exam hall like everything is normal? So that's good. That's commendable.
Okay, KK, do you want to say something on that?
Yeah, I agree with what Titi said. It's a tragic loss. And it's difficult to just continue as normal, really. The students were affected, and one of the ladies talked about is somebody who is very strong in terms of the student politics. So it's not just something that you can just go ahead with. So I think they made it was a good call, and let's just hope that this kind of thing doesn't happen again, because it was really horrible, really horrible. Yeah.
Fantastic. Welcome to the show for the first time in the new year. Dr. Ebenezer Odetola Israel has joined us all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada. Good morning, Dr. Eben.
Good morning, Mr. Rotimi. Good morning, Niger Kid. Good morning. Okay, and I think I saw Rhoda, not quite long. I'm not sure whether it is Rhoda. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Eben. We missed you.
Yes, ma. Thank you. Happy New Year.
All right. So we have another headline, and that says sexual harassment. Why OAU victim is yet to graduate. Any comment on that?
It would be good to, Eben, since you're just coming, let's baptize you.
I am ready to be baptized.
So what's your take on the headline?
It it is something that is normal, that is not meant to be normal in our institution, where students will spend almost 2 extra year in the name of you have to agree to the tone of the lecturer. I have experienced a lot of them where even girls will come and they will narrate everything from the beginning to the end, and the stories are not that friendly at all. And I have actually experienced a lecturer that was sacked instantly just because of this type of case. The lecturer said the students will come 10 p.m. at night to the to his office. So at the end of the day, the lecturer was set up by other guys, and it was terrible. So I think uh, it is a very big temptation to so many lecturers out there. I think there should be different ways to crop that in terms of dressing, in terms of even morals of the lecturers themselves. So a very big problem. I would like to a very big one.
Okay. If you really go through the story, you find out that there's the chunk of the fact that she did not meet up with the requirement of, she's like a master student, so she didn't meet up with the requirement of a course. She failed the math course, and the university was not going to waive that. But she wanted that preference, having been able to establish, um, a case around the no sex, sex for grade or something like that. So I think she, well, from the sources from the news, I think she also is a big culpable for the yet to graduate situation as well. But then, well, we wish her the best, and we believe that she needs to do what she needs. She needs to do what is required of her, um, so that it's not because of sensation she begins to feel entitled. If you're on a degree course, you need to prove that you're worth the scores or the required stuff. All right, so let's move on to another news. It says the convocation ceremony of Joseph Ayo Babalola University held on Friday. They were able to have their convocation.
This was this university we spoke about last week that had quite a number of
First
people
class.
people graduating. So congrats! I think that's all I will be saying. Congrats to all the graduates. Welcome to a major milestone. Welcome to the labor market, which would show that your years in school are enjoyment years. And we wish all of you the best. That's what I would say.
And the last born just joined us. Ladies and gentlemen, Iben, have you met our last born? Officially, let's introduce you to the last born of the Good Morning Education Show. And
Yeah, I
currently,
can't wait.
if you're, she's, will put that video. While we wait for him, if you're, let me read another one. The story about the out of school children has dropped to 6.946 million. The federal government has stated that our, our statistics regarding that has dropped. What do you think about that?
Ah, the first thing I'm actually laughing here at that data, to be sincere,
Why are
because
you
Lagos
laughing?
State said
Why are you
that they
laughing,
now
Eben?
have
I really want to know why you're laughing.
be- because the major states that we know that we don't actually have much out of school students, the state is actually saying that there are students that are not going to school right now, which is Lagos State. So how come do we now have in the whole of Nigeria the craze dropping? So I will need to get where they got that data, more details of that data, because I won't use the word I'm not sure of that data. I'm just trying to question the data. That data is questionable.
Gideon SN says No one can trust the data side. I actually met Gideon last week, Titi, like I said, and we had a very great time together in the city of Port Harcourt. And he's a very good host. We had conversations, and Gideon. I'm sure one of these days we are bringing you on the show to the Good Man Education Show. I'm not sure if Yok is going to share our place as the last born, but we'll bring you as a guest starting.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, see the last one. Oh, everybody say hello to if you're.
Good morning, Iben. Good morning. It's nice to see you here. Good morning, Titi. Good morning, Mr. Rotimi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Iben is showing his face for me. Thank you, Iben.
Good morning.
That's your naming ceremony gift. Okay, still on the news. Anybody wants to say something on that, by the way?
I think Gideon has said it all. Honestly, I wish our data expert Rhoda was on for her to talk passionately about it. But I'm wondering where they're getting the data from. We're not a country known for gathering data. So where did they go to? Schools that most of them have not been around. Which schools did they go? And say, okay, last term we were 500. This term we are 600. So that means more people have enrolled. On and on like that to show broken down by states. How did they come about this data? Because if I look around me, I know so many people that their kids have not gone to school. But they were not even in the original out of school. But because they lost their jobs as nannies, they lost their jobs as cleaners, there's been a down, turn in the whatever. They didn't send their children. Their schools were not able to transition to online, more privileged schools. So their kids have not been in school. So what that meant for me, just looking at the people around me, it means that the people that were before not out of school, they're now out of school. So I'm surprised that at this time, when a lot of people have not been in school, a lot of people have, gone to help their parents in the market because things have been tough, and the things haven't gotten any easier. So the parents have not sent them back to school. So I'm wondering, where can the data have gotten? Where can we get the data from? Where did they go and take it? Because data is you go and take a census. It's like coming and saying, "Oh, Nigeria is now 200 million, or Nigeria is now 300 million." All that will be projections that is sat down on the table to do without a consensus. A census. Sorry, there's no real way to say that has happened. Every other thing is projection, is an estimate based on the old data. So, but even with that old data, you must have done something additional to confidently be able to project on the old data. And I'm not aware that that has been done. So where did they get that from? And I think each of us can talk about the people that are around us, that we know that even schools, private schools, know that their numbers have dropped. How much more, public schools and low cost schools? They know their numbers have dropped.
Yeah.
Those that were in school before have dropped out. So I think I don't want to say it's embarrassing to say the least that they came to even talk about this. Because I'm not aware that as a country, this is me speaking, I'm not aware as a country, ever since that data came out of the 10.4, I'm not aware as a country of the specific steps that we've taken to use those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
What from that day, what was the plan that we came out and said, okay, to reduce this number, we're doing A, B, C, D. Even if we've not taken a census, we can say that, we did this A project.
We've been doing something.
This was the result. We did this B project. This was the result. So we can't then say that the numbers are reducing. What the numbers are reducing by, we can't say, at least based on the actions that have been taken. Okay.
Well, so many things, but sometimes some figures have to come out so that it's like report card to those who have been funding you. I think we pay more attention to our funders than the system. We pay more attention to the people we're interested in to start off a project in a location or in a state, rather than the entire system and the model of education that we run. So really, sometimes when you see some of these things, they're just like a feel-good factor to show some measure of improvement, cast aspersion, create distraction, but the story is still the same. Gideon is saying we shall wait for UNICEF's story. Now, Ekiti State is in the news for demolishing dilapidated public school buildings. Then, okay, let's, hello, Linda. Welcome, Linda, from Port Harcourt. All right, any other news from your end? I think that would be all that we can take. Can we all call it fake news? That's a Trump, it's a Trump statement. Oh my goodness, fake news. All right, so does anyone have any news? Titi, Eben, if you're...
No.
Are you sure if you have news?
Don't worry. When the time comes, I'll say my news.
All right. Okay. So let's just move on to the conversation of today. And when I posted the topic of today, I got different messages from different people. And of course, another way to talk about it is we could probably say we are starting a Jackpa series after today. Jackpa is not a slang, but it's an ideology connoting taking a leave, running away, moving out, stepping out, going abroad. And I'm so excited that one of our analysts today is it's a Japai.
I don't know why I came on this show today.
So this show is complete because you have a Japai. If you're a Japa, you're a Japa.
Japai, okay.
Bro, to me, that's
okay. Okay. So going overseas, the new Joker. There's so much. In fact, December, I was privileged to run a retreat for an organization, at the venue that they used. Was a popular venue. I'm not going to mention the name, but they normally have these IELTS exams there and all these other foreign exams and stuff like that. And due to COVID, due to stuff, because it was almost Christmas when we had that retreat, they didn't have anyone coming. But then they were saying that it was a normal day, that we probably would not have enough parking and the likes of, they actually took that event center and dedicated that to an exam. And I heard the frequency at which they churn out people writing exams every month.
Yeah.
The numbers are not funny. The numbers are rising. And I'm like, and it's not free. I'm sure, Titi, I'm talking about some thousands of naira here. And sometimes some people have written these exams about 4 or 5 times, sometimes 6 times, meaning that it's the way you have WAEC, where someone fails, or when someone has JAM, it didn't get the cutoff mark, and it keeps writing and writing and writing. Going overseas, is this the new Joker? Is this the way to advance your career? Is this the way to advance your fulfillment? Is it the way to advance your profession? Especially when we're talking about teachers, we're talking about educators. What are your thoughts on this? I'm going to start with Titi, then I'm going to go to the expert here, the one who's been able to Japarize as Gideon, the Japeable Japa.
Rotimi, I'm going to say.
I think he's on my case today, honestly.
Don't mind it. I'm going to say two things, right? That this, the should I call it the phenomenon of moving to greener pastures or Japarai is not a new one. It's a constant one in small circles and in big circles. So people jackpot from the village to the city. People jackpot from other states to Lagos. You know, it's a constant process of looking for greener pastures, of feeling that the pasture that you are in is not where you're promised land. So it's a constant thing, both in the country and all over the world. So you see people in America as well, they want to leave one area to go to another area because that's really the promised land. For the people that are into tech, it's till I go to Silicon Valley before I make it. For the people that are into acting, it's till I go to Hollywood before I make it. Till I go to New York City before I make it. Any country that you're in, there's a place of a greener pasture. So it is a normal phenomenon where you feel that you can't make it, especially when there are some things that are hard. And we have to be honest, our country is not an easy. And then when I also look at, I'll bring in the parable that Jesus told about, the parables of the sower and the soil. There is a good seed. You can put it on the rocky ground. You can put it on the good soil. To be honest, Nigeria seems like a rocky ground. It takes a particular state of mind and a certain determination to succeed. It seems as if there are more odds stacked against you. And that's the honest truth. It takes a particular kind of person and in a particular environment to succeed. Some people already have more for them that will help their success than other things. Maybe the schools they went to, the family they are from, the network they belong to. So there's a lot more that will help them to succeed. And then some people are just, that seed that even in the dustbin area it will prosper. Even if you put it on a rock, you still see a plant coming out. Some people just have that sheer will and determination. So I completely understand the process of wanting to live to greener pasture. But this is where I put my caution. My caution is, do your investigation, do your studies. Because even this process of Japan does not, and the area you are going to does not mean you'll be successful, because there are a number of factors. If you go to a place where you're a nurse and they're in need of, they're looking for nurses, then it means that the process of your getting there will be easier because there's already a need and a demand for your service. But if you go to a place where the service that you're offering is already saturated, then know that your journey will be harder. And then when you're also doing that, there's some states, there's some countries better than the others because they also have their own internal issues. They have internal issues of racism. They have their own, it's the same everywhere. So there are already some factors that are stacked against you. So my advice is that anything you do, you need to evaluate. You need to get honest, opinion. Some people will go and meet their friends that will not tell them the truth. People are taxi drivers, they are whatever meanwhile, they've never told their family. Some people are even into drugs, some people are even into credit card fraud. They've never told their families, but they give you the life that I went and in a year I made it big. Please, there's not instant success. A lot of things is climbing the ladder. There are some routes that are easier. When people go through the master's route, it is easier. When you go through school, because it means that you have a soft landing, you have the opportunity to build a network, you have the opportunity to give a certificate that is not the one from the country that you're coming from. Some people will go there and they will do nursing. Meanwhile, there were, senior bankers there. In the end, each person needs to say, what do you want? What do you want out of life? What are the possible routes? Is that the way for you to do it? Or can you still make it here? Having said that, we have a lot of people here that are making it. There are people here that they did not go. They are building schools. They are school owners. They are teachers making money. They have online coaches. The success story of last year of Paystack, none of them jackpot. The people that are doing Konga and Jume, there were people that jackpot and came back to build it here. Look at it. So what I'm just saying is that, can you be successful in Nigeria? Yes. Is it hard? Yes. But is it possible? Yes. I know people that look at successful businesses. I'm not talking about the high flyers of the likes like Dangote, but look at other homegrown businesses that are successful. Look at Tasty Fried Chicken. Look at in the food industry. Tasty Fried Chicken. She grew it from her house. She was a caterer and she grew it into an enterprise. Look at, Mr. Biggs. Mr. Biggs was, even though Mr. Biggs has gone down, they were an industry we grew up with. So what I'm saying is, look at the likes of schools like Green Springs. Look at this, schools like Meadow Hall. These are all homegrown, successful businesses. They still made it in this Nigeria. So what I'm saying is, look at sometimes you have to listen to the news out there. Listen to the news in America about the teachers. They are complaining about not being well paid. They are complaining about the district not providing enough material. They are when you look at their complaints, I don't see that any different. I'm not joking. I don't see that's any different. When you listen to their public school, don't look at the few outliers and feel that's how it's normal. Look at the stories of people that migrated to America. Hear them tell you their stories of how they suffered and what it took for them to make it. So I'm saying that I'm yourself. I'm not saying stay, I'm not saying go, but I'm yourself with the correct information. I know a lot of people that they relocated and are coming back because they're saying, you know what, despite I'm living in a bigger house, but I don't think I can cope with the racism. They said, you know what, I'm not comfortable with the environment for my children. I want to bring them back to Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Let them be here. And people have come back and made it a success. We have people here that make it a success. Look at all the new generation banks. They were people that grew up here. The people that founded Guaranteed Trust Bank, the people that founded Zenith, that the name that it is today. Yeah, the people that took over UPA, Tony Elumelu, they're all Nigerians, homegrown people in this same difficult Nigeria. So what I want to say is that be honest with yourself. What do you want? Can it be done here? It's hard. I'm not saying it's not, but it's hard everywhere else. There's no instant success. There's no country that is going to give it to you on the platter of gold. Everywhere you go, you need to work. You need to ask yourself, what are my goals? What are my ambitions? What are the various routes to it? Anywhere you're going, you can ask your friends that you know that they won't tell you honestly. They are all for show. As we have Eko for show, we have London for show, we have Dubai for show. Do you understand? People that only when they are coming, they'll go and buy all sorts of designer clothes when they are coming to Nigeria. Can't even take money out on their credit card for their visit to Nigeria and show off. Or it's like how people go and pose in front of a car and we don't know if it's their own. So you need to look at it. I believe that we can all succeed wherever we are, whatever it is that we set our hearts to do. The real answer is what problem looking at and how can you provide a solution to that problem. You don't have to relocate because there are people here that are doing it here. There are people on the average, there are people that are doing better. That's not to say you cannot go, but make an informed decision. Ask people honestly. Don't go ask people that will not tell you the truth. You know them. They're not telling you the truth. They are, that if they are broke, they will not tell you. Those people that will not tell you what they did to get there, because there's some people that they will not tell you what they did to get there. I remember when a lot of Nigerians were going, it was a big thing to give birth to Ireland. They were going to Ireland to give birth to their children because they wanted papers. It was a friend of mine did it, and she told me, Titi, oh boy, she cannot do it again. It was when she got there, they now told her how you enter a car, hide at the bottom of the car, then they will now drive into Ireland, then you go and do. It was when she told me the story. Meanwhile, till that time, people were telling her she didn't know all that was involved. And then when she went there, and then when she got to Ireland, she says that if she sees the way everybody's looking at you with your big stomach, the daggers they are throwing at you. Because you are coming to take taxpayers' money. You are coming to give birth, and it's taxpayers' money that's being paid. They don't provide your house, it's taxpayers' money. So it was such a. She said, you know what? Because when she left here, she wasn't. She was comfortable, but they didn't tell her the truth till she got there. And so she told me the truth. And not long after that, bank even closed up the thing. So I'm saying that some people will not tell you the truth. They won't tell you what they're doing there. They make it seem as if the grass truly is green on the other side. So I will end with this, my last proverb, which is also from the Bible, of the prodigal son. The prodigal son went for greener pastures. But when he saw how he was suffering, he said, the Bible says that he came to his senses and said, in my father's house, I'm not eating this kind of food. Let me go back and tell my father that, oh boy, just make me a servant because I will see better food than what I'm eating sitting over there. So that is how I will end my talk and hand over to my sweetheart Rhoda that is on the line. And if you're our Jakaraza to tell us her own of this story.
Okay, well, I think this is a topic that comes up very often for us at home. You know, I get calls all the time to say, "Oh, babe, waiting you did do how did you do it? Do you know? I beg, show us way." You know, so I get those calls, and you know what I say is, okay, why do you want to move? What are you doing now? What's that? What is it you have in your hand that you are with now, and what have you done with the little you have? Okay, before you say you want to move, what are you moving to? What are your plans? Okay, and you find out that most often than not, there's no plan. The plan is just to move to a better life. Now, define that better life. Define that better life for me is okay, anything, I can just do anything. And you find people who, okay, so I'll use my experience. So here in Abu Dhabi, we have lots of Nigerians, I can tell you, they're just all over the place, doing nothing. As a matter of fact, at some point, the government said, you know what, all Nigerians who did not have a visa, they're just going to pack all of them, everyone. And there they were at the embassy, hundreds, thousands of them. And you ask the question over and over again, why are you here? What are you here to do? There's no answer. So it's about having a plan, you know, making inquiries. Okay, this is what I want for myself. And I go out to make the inquiries, I go out to make the plans to get that thing. And you come here and you're just lost in space, doing nothing. And you're looking for just anything to do. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, you become a nuisance to the society where you are. So I would say if you can succeed with the little you're doing, let's take another story from the Bible where it says, where the Bible talks at some point where it says, what's that you have in your hand, the little you have in your hand, you know. And we used to sing that all the time as children. You can use it, grow that little you have into something big and go from there. So if I'm going to advise anyone, you want to move out of the country, you want to leave, what are you leaving behind? And what are you going to? What are you going to? You know, what are you leaving behind? And what are you going to? So take the time, study the place where you're going to. Is it education? So let's look at education or our teachers, for example. Why do teachers migrate? Why do you want to leave where you are? I migrated because my husband got a job, okay? But before that, I still had the intention of, okay, I need to go out of the country, I need to upskill, you know, have that international experience. Now that's for me because, you know, I have a plan for myself. And the intention is to come back and to develop my country because I know that's where there's need. So what's the intention for you? If you're leaving the country, are you just going for greener pastures? Can you define that greener pasture that you're going to get, or you're going to look out for? And I think that's going to help things.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Dr. Rhoda in the building. Look at that majestic seat. That's a royal seat, you know. Rhoda is just stepping up every day. This New Year, she's not taking it easy, man.
I took a holiday like you. So
I'm not on holiday, Rhoda. I am on the field. I'm not on holiday.
I know we're just, being very political. So don't mind me, Jerry. I took I took a short break away from work, but I'm here. What an interesting topic. Oh my God. Very, 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 very interesting. So, I mean, I've been looking at it and I'm saying to myself, there are reasons, when we said that, talent it is given all opportunity, there's a reason why people transition. I call it transition because it's not so easy for someone to just like say to themselves, "Oh, man, I'm going. That's the next milk and honey." Um, so- and when people do that, they do that for probably two reasons, two major reasons, um, of safety and security, and then secondly of they do that for um, I said fear, and then the second one was of safety, whatever it is, and the second one would just be, you know what, what's the future for my children? Because when people think, I have never contemplated leaving Nigeria, and when the pandemic hit and I was stuck outside the country, believe me, it was an option. It was an option, and why was it an option was because I looked at the system where I was and how it took care of its people. It was not even about the palliatives that they had. It was more about the institutional progress that they've made with everything that relates to how things work and the access that people can have. The key thing about it is access. So when people talk about overseas, it's access. Is that you're always afraid? You're afraid, and then you're thinking of your future. So many people think about, is this what I'm going to do? Let's even use education. Let's bring it home. You pay through your nose, your eyes, your head, every part of you for your child to get an education that seems good. Seems. You live abroad, I have to say it seems. You live abroad, you don't have to do that. You don't. Plus multiple opportunities for your child, you know, a career that is theirs. For example, you're in a school where, and I have had this personal experience. You're in a school, and everything about your child is your child. And I'm speaking from a parent's perspective, why you can see people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s actually make that transition. You know, you don't make such transitions in your 40s and 50s. Don't do that. But believe me, I'm sure you know a lot of people who have made that transition within that age group. It's something. It's significant. It says something. It says something about a failing situation of state or of your own personal life. Because usually you can't. You have to connect it. How many who is employed? I don't know what the employment rates are now, right now in this country. I'm not even saying unemployment. I'm saying employment. I don't know what that percentage is at. I don't know how easy it is for people to get a job. I don't know what sort of skills people have. But you and I know that if you're in the business of recruiting people, you know how difficult it is to find skilled people. But that's because there are there's the job percentage, I mean the availability of jobs is not that is not so high in spite of it being, you know, in spite of it being in spite of us being making an income that is sustainable. So it's basically all about sustainability of life, sustainability. That is the reason why people make that move. So it's the new joker. It's the joker because I said to you, I have never contemplated living abroad until I was stuck there to see how beautiful the systems were. Until I was stuck there to see how you have to. It's not about how much you make. Oh, sometimes that's not what it's about. It's about the life that you can live, that you can take a walk down the road and you'll be fine. That your child will be sick and you can have access to that healthcare. And that you are going to look, people were given the rents. There were states that said, do not collect rent from anybody until so and so. Into the pandemic. And then don't forget that the landowners or the landlords also had their own measure of palliative that the government was relieving them of. So these are the reasons why people just transition. But like Titi and my dad, if you said, you have to always look within. Can I be Rhoda in France, in Hungary, in Russia, in the Scandinavians? Can I be Rhoda Odibo? Can I really be myself? Can I be who I want to be at the end of my career? Would I want to? What's the pursuit? Because again, it's my goal. What's my goal? I have a personal goal. Can I achieve that goal there? Uh,
Okay.
you have to answer those questions that if you're asked. Like, what is it in need for you? That's Titi asked. Like, why are you going? If why you're going? But believe me, some people is like, I'm going so that they will not take lights.
Yeah.
Believe me, it is critical. Because every day you wake up, you sleep, something happens to you. Life is either taken from you or given to you.
Yeah. I think I would want to end with this, Rotimi. For any educator, for any educator that is considering, my advice, and it's okay to consider, like we all said, everybody should make their personal, don't jump on the bandwagon, look inside, decide what it is you want to do. But if you really want to do that, I think that for me, the first step process that you need to look at is, where do you want to go to? So what are the countries that need educators? So if you're looking for to go, what are the countries that need educators? What are the qualifications they would need? Because you might have gone to school in Nigeria, did a very, very good first degree that is in education, and they don't accept that. There are some, certifications that they require. So it means that if you have a plan, go and start that certification. What is the best route there? Because you don't want a situation where you go and, like you said, you're a nuisance to society. They're looking for you people to until to pack you in one vehicle and bring all of you back. And that's a more disgrace when you go. So if it's something that you're interested in, go and look at the countries that are looking for. What are the requirements that they're looking for? What do you need to beef up yourself? Go and update your CV on it so that you start to build the connections even before you go there. You start to build the honest connections with people that you think that are there. Ask their advice, what they need to do. Because even in doing these things, some areas more than others. So, for instance, the doctors are relocating to the UK. It's not to go and get a job in central London. Where they need the doctors are in the outskirts. Do you get? So when you see here that doctors not to go to the city, most of it is going to to the outskirts and the villages, because that's where they need the doctors. So it's also for you to find out what is required. What's the cost of living there? So if you get the job and the job is offering you, let me give it $2,000 a month, what's the cost of living for you as an individual, for you as your family? Because then that's what you discover that as beautiful as Dubai is, housing is like Abuja, housing is expensive. Do you understand? They don't have public school. I'm not aware that they have everything is fee paying. They pay the fees, and the fees, most of the fees is expatriate rate fees. It's not, there's really no low cost. If you see low cost, you find out that your children
That's free.
your children are with the Palestinians and the Palestine. I don't want to, this is a global school, but you understand they are with the nannies. Where the schools the nannies go to, the ones that the average people go to, it might be unaffordable. There's no free healthcare in Dubai. I'm giving that as you have to
Yeah.
pay for insurance, and it's not
Yes.
small money. Do you understand? So those are some of the things that you need to consider as you look at that. What's the cost of living? Do I have a soft landing? So if I have a family there, maybe, if I don't have a family there. So I think if you do want to make those decisions, please look at, especially when you're not in a place where, as Gideon says, you're in the mouth of the jack. You're not there. If you already have a job, you have somewhere where you live, then you're relatively better off than most people as a starting ground. So I expect that when you plan to go there, you want to at least start at the minimum level of the life that you currently have here. Because remember, when you're chasing something, it's greener pasture. You cannot
That's
change
true.
down, chase brown pasture. Leave green, leave half green and brown here to go and move completely to brown there. You have to think about it. That's what I would say. So a lot of it is, don't jump, don't follow other people to jump. God, decide what you want. what's the routes to get there, gather the information on that, have a plan, and then do your transition. And we wish you all the best in whatever endeavor you want to do, whether it's to stay here or to Japan.
All right, thank you so much. Ifyok, you want to say something?
Yes. I want to say
60
that
seconds.
it's okay. It's okay for anyone to look for greener pastures. I don't want us to make it look like, I don't want to paint that it's bad. It's not bad at all. Of course, everyone wants to live a happy life, but there is a soil for every plant, okay? And every plant requires, different amounts of nutrients. So find your soil and grow in it. I'm just using that as an analogy. Find your soil and grow in it. Does Nigeria have the enough amount of sunlight that you need to grow as a plant? Okay, so let's say as a teacher now, around you, does Nigeria have what you need to grow? If yes, go with it. And then it's okay to want to upskill. It's okay to want to move. And when you eventually want to do that, ask the right questions. Teachers come here and I tell you, you may see the amount of money that is offered. Sorry, Mr. Rotimi, I don't know if I've exhausted the 60 seconds. And you're like, oh, this money, it's big. Come on, 1,200 dirhams, 1,200 dirhams, let's take for example, is approximately 150 naira, 150,000 naira right now, approximately, or 160 a month. Okay, and then they tell you, okay, the benefits of that, you have one child or two child space free, you have free accommodation. They haven't told you that from that 1,600 dirhams, you're going to have to feed yourself, transportation. By the time you do all of that, I tell you what you have left. With the current expenditure here, you have little or nothing left for you. But when you say, oh, as a teacher, I'm going to be getting like 160K a month, it's a big deal. No. So you need to be able to consider how are you going to be spending the money there? Because you're not spending it in Nigeria. You're going to be spending it in the environment where you are. So consider everything and do your homework. I'm going to put it like that. Ask questions. Ask a lots of questions, and have an alternative. Okay, because things don't always go as planned. Have an alternative. If this does not work out for me, what's my plan B? People owe money. People lend money to people. To others. And you borrow to leave the country, and you're in great debt. And so you leave there, you find out that things are not the way you expected. What's your plan B? So I'll say it again. Find wherever you are, find your soil, know what it is that you need, and grow in it.
Yeah, I think
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
I think what I'm hearing is, do not be a refugee wherever you're going, because what characterizes a refugee is that yes, they've left their home and then they don't have a new home to go to. That's what it is. And often what happens with refugees is that you don't carry a lot of possessions with you, meaning that you are likely going with not a lot of what you would need to get to a comfortable place there. But the one thing that characterizes refugees is please, I'm not using it in a political sense, is that they usually don't have a clear idea of where they finally settle. And that's major for I think there are about 4 reasons why people do this migration. There's economic reasons, there's social reasons, there's political reasons, and there's environmental reasons. And so for reasons where you go, don't be a refugee, especially when you're skilled. And if you are unskilled, then be ready to get yourself, like she said, find your soil and grow it. Get skilled. That's what a lot of people have done that. A lot of people have gone sold everything they've had just to go and get an education. Like Sissy said, the best route is through an education. Go and get an education. But are we here saying you should go? No, we're not here saying you should go, because there are people who have made it and will continue to make it here. In fact, I have personal theory that the next, I mean, it's personal theory, but it's also a fact that the next billionaires is coming. And so you have to think of it. You have to think of the soil where you're going to grow in. So wherever you go, don't take your eyes away from it here. Don't take your eyes away from here, because you've got to find solutions for Nigeria,
For
solutions for Africa.
Nigeria.
And these are the people that are going to buy, and you want to equip them. So contribute to them, because you want them to be empowered enough to buy from you. And then you also want them to also be that empowered for you to buy from.
All right,
Like
thank you
me
so
now,
much.
I'm homeward bound. All these things we're doing is to do and come back. You understand? It's just, improve the system. So that's it. We're homeward
That's right.
bound.
All right. So, listening to you guys, there are certain things that I think we should just have as a take home. And thanks to all those who've contributed. Osai, welcome to the show for the year. Thank you for all those comments. That two things that we must realize that a lot of people are looking for quality of life, but then also we need to understand for every time you chase quality of life, you also must add quality of time. You might chase wonderful things because of quality of life. You might go through sacrifices because of quality of life. But if it's not going to give you quality of time, then it's almost like it's not having an equilibrium. So we must chase quality of life and quality of time. Number two, if you're going to migrate anywhere, if you're going to be a japerizer, I think one thing that you must factor is that you must factor the reality that everything about moving, everything about relocating, anything about going overseas is all about you looking. And I use the look as an acronym, right? A lot of times we see people do certain things and they don't realize what they are going through. So number one is you have to find the location. And thankfully, Titi was able to explain further that location is location. I told you sometime, I think it was last year, or whether it was a personal conversation. A lot of people don't look at, like, for example, education. I had a visit to Malaysia and I found out certain things that people will naturally want to go somewhere else to do. They can have the advantage there. And I'm talking about having international school because of your children. You have fantastic stuff at a cheaper rate. In so many cases, it's almost as if you're going to a socialism kind of country, that kind of thing. Those things are for us to look at the location and then the opportunities within the location, and followed by the objective. So LOO, look, opportunity, O, then you begin to look at objective, and then you match it up with your knowledge. So the way you do your BMI to check whether you're obese, this is what you need to do. You need to look. If I'm going to UK, I need to look. What do I need to look? What location in UK? What opportunity exists in that location in UK? How objective? And what objective am I going there for? Am I going there to make ends meet? Am I going there to dominate? Am I going there to raise? Am I going there to reduce? And then, of course, what's my knowledge quotient? See, if you don't do that equation, no matter the goods, no matter the bads, no matter the info, no matter the helps, you would almost just be trying to get by. And the short-term effect is that you are happy you have left the place, but the plateau effect is worse than where you are coming from, because your knowledge will haunt you. Your dreams will haunt you. Your passion will haunt you. Your pursuit that you left will haunt you. Your personality will haunt you. And you don't want to grow up at 60 regretting life when you're about, instead of you to reflect about greatness in life. And then finally, I think that what we need to look at is if there's anything anybody needs to do right now, the first jackpot you should do is jackpot of friendships. In 2021, master the jackpot of friendship. Go overseas with friendship. There are some friendships, they are undersea, they are not oversea. There are some friendships that can't take you off. You need to make up your mind with the friends that you have. You need to go over the seas. So I look at my friendship with Ifyok, I look at my friendship with Titi, and I'm planning to take that friendship overseas. Not myself alone, but me and them, or them and myself. Do you understand? So that's the first place. Listen, association brings wealth faster than geographical location. Do you understand? I've been in Port Harcourt for over 10 days, right? I didn't plan to stay that long, but the truth of the matter is I've been able to create wealth than if I was going to the routine in my office in one location in Lagos. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not relocated to Port Harcourt. Headquarters is still Lagos. But what I'm trying to understand is this. You can penetrate any location once you have been able to master the move and the migration of friendship. Migration of friendship, I would say, is the first step before migration of location. Because by the time you get there, if you want to annex the location there, you must be able to master friendship, master association, belonging to association, making a move towards others first. Then when you master friendship, then the next thing that you need to do is to move beyond friendship to begin to talk about mastering your self-mastery. That's the mastery itself that you have. Do you get? Which tells you that, look, the world today has made a lot of barriers drop, which really now addresses the issue. Do you just have a feel-good factor of moving from your location, which you can do via a vacation? Or it's just the bias of, I want to see winter, I want to feel the snow, which you can actually go at a period of a year. Why totally move in dynasty and destiny just to witness winter, which is for about less than 6 months, you know? So, ladies and gentlemen, the time is up. I need to stop at this point. Thank you, Ayoluwa Puka from Canada. Thank you, Drive Right with King T from Lagos. Thank you, Gideon SM from Port Harcourt. Thank you, Osai from Benin. Thank you, I think Linda from Port Harcourt. Thank you. So many people joined us today from different parts of the world, which is also Japan. The show has Japad, and we are Japarizing with impact and, you know, stories and all. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. See you tomorrow for a great time. The conversation continues, and hopefully we'll come up with a Japa series very soon. And we'd like to end the show with one word. Titi, are you going to give us the honors to do that?
It's always a great morning on the Good Morning.
Good morning, education show.
Last but could you tell everybody bye-bye?
Bye.
Have a great day.
Thank you.